people just feel like they can do anything when they're celebrated. I love the question of prioritizing people over procedures because in workplace environments all around the world, my travels have taken me, my speaking has taken me all around the world. I've worked and spoken in the Middle East, I've worked in Europe, in the US, etc. And so it's a common problem. I'll call it this, a challenge or a problem in business because, business, you're in business in large part to make money. Many people are, many companies are, many businesses are. And so the trying thing, the challenging thing that happens in many regards is we can view people, we're not out to do this. It just happens. It finds us oftentimes. We make people into projects as opposed to real human beings whose heart beats and comes alive and people that want to be cheered and encouraged and inspired. And I think in the name of reaching our goals, making money, and leaders have a wonderful opportunity to change that around, to view it and to experience people more from the inside out. When we can begin to prioritize people for who they are, why they exist, their uniqueness, their gifts, their skill sets, and then attach that to the goal at hand, the project that we want to accomplish, everything. We're actually the starting place, and not just the starting place, really we should value them throughout the entire process. And when we do so, when we're intentional and disciplined to do so, again, it gets back to the last thing that I brought up with presence. People just feel like they can do anything when they're celebrated. When we focus more on who they are and the good that they bring to a process, to the goal, then it's going to encourage them. It's going to empower them to go about it out of a completely different place. And so when we do that and really put people themselves as the priority, then procedures are something that, in a sense, you try to wrap your arms around celebrating people, encouraging people. You wrap your arms around the productivity that comes in and out of that place and channel that for greater good. And we call that then procedures and protocols, because now you are channeling the individual, their uniqueness, everything we just talked about, and now you want to create and package it for long-term sustainability. And that's where processes, procedures, and protocols come into place. You take the vibrancy, you channel it for long-term sustainability. Any great company, any vibrant and sustainable company, it's all about vibrancy, in a sense, the heartbeat of the company, and it needs to be channeled with sustainability. And that's what putting people over procedures, or prioritizing people over procedures for greater results, is all about. Yeah, receiving mindset is an interesting thing. So many people and so many leaders, how many times have we heard this, Megan? We've heard, well, you just need to serve people around you. You just need to take care of them. You just need to make sure they're taken care of. And I know so many leaders that serve. It's all about other people. And they almost view like receiving things in a good way, not like receiving things to manipulate people and circumstances for greater benefit, but really receiving in a genuine way, an authentic sense from others. They can almost feel bad about it. Like, who am I to receive from people like deeply, authentically? I got people to take care of. I got to serve them. I want to take care of them to set them up for greater success. But think of it this way. We can only give what we have received. Another more modern way to put it is we can only give what we got. And if we're not positioning ourselves, aligning ourselves to receive from people around us and receiving help and support, receiving new ideas, receiving praise and compliments very deeply, then what can we really give to others around us? But if we, again, can position and posture ourselves to receive authentically, deeply, genuinely, in the purity of our heart and our mind, and we take it deep and we take moments and times to receive, then guess what we can give to other people? We can give away what we have received. Now, when we dive and do a deeper dive into an area like receiving, I know many people, because I get this a lot, they're like, Rob, if I'm really honest with you, I really struggle as a leader, as a human being, with receiving deeply, because it's a vulnerable place to be, to live and to lead out of. And so when I dig a little deeper, I've acknowledged some key areas that are holding leaders back from receiving. Things like, if I receive from this person, I don't know, I might get a really big head. I might get a larger ego than I already have. And so what leaders will typically do when they receive a praise or a compliment from a team member, from an outsider, they'll say, hey, thanks a lot, but it was really my team. Now I get it. It seems really good. It seems humble at first, but in reality, we're deflecting who we are and why we're there as a leader, as a human being. And so just even take an appropriate pause to actually receive. And I would encourage you to even say, hey, thank you so much for sharing that with me. And even pause to receive it before you give an answer or even deflect it onto your teammates and team members. And what that does, it acknowledges the person actually giving you the compliment. It blesses them because now you're receiving from them, but it also gives you some time to absorb it, to take it in, not in a prideful, arrogant way, but in a way that is filled with humility, that perhaps the way that you are, your purpose in life, your passions in life was a gift that you've been given for other people to unwrap in and through you. And there are other things that can hold us back from receiving. I just gave you one, but there are so many more that we don't have time to talk about right now. But I unveil and I unpack in my talks and in my trainings that people really want to understand the things that are holding them back so that they can live and lead with greater freedom, receiving good things, only to give more of them away. Megan, one of the things that I hope people take away is in and through my passion, my highly interactive talks, the practical tools that I provide people and leaders for their tool belts so they can move forward, having everything at their disposal to set them up for greater success. I would say this: you are made uniqueness. Each person that hears me speak, my message over and over and over again. I'm invited to talk about different things, many of which have been talked about in this interview, and many other things as well. But I never stray too far from my core. Why? Because I believe that when people truly understand from the inside out their uniqueness apart from every human being, every leader, every team member on the planet, they begin to live and lead out of a place of freedom, understanding that unique identity. They live with a greater sense of purpose and passion, an extra pop in their step. And others within their sphere of influence begin to get more and more of what they have. And I'll end with this. There's 5 practical things that I unpack in every single talk that I give. Sometimes it's towards the beginning, sometimes it's at the middle, and sometimes it's at the end. And it goes back to the first question that I answered today. And it has everything to do with inside out leadership. If you truly want to understand, discover, rediscover your unique identity and live according to it, you've got to embrace these 5 practical things. Number 1, what are my personal core values? The things that I stand firm in and day out, decision by decision, that I'm actually making decisions out of this inward place all day long and may not fully realize it. What would you say your top 5 personal core values are? Second, how about your top strengths? Your top strengths, your natural talents in life, the things that ever since you were a little child, the things that came more naturally to you, that there's an abundance of fruit when you were doing them, taking part in them, that would positively affect other people around you. What would you say they are? Third, how about your top passions in life, the things that literally have you leaping out of bed in the morning in which to accomplish and which to take part in? Because these are the things that when you're passionate, you're doing them, you're talking about them, that when you are taking part in them, others around you can't help but become passionate too. Fourth, and this is a huge one, what would you say your most significant life milestones in your life have been? These are the things, good, bad, and some would even call them ugly, that have happened in your life that have helped shape you to become the person you are today, listening to me. What are they for you? For me, a really challenging thing was my parents' divorce when I was in high school. And I never would have wanted that to happen, but it shaped me. I've become stronger because of it. I can help others out of a place of deeper conviction because of it. A really positive thing that's happened in my life, talking about a life milestone, the birth of my first child. I still remember in the hospital with my wife and seeing my child, my firstborn, for the first time. It did something deep in my heart and in my mind that I'll never, ever forget, and it's changed me. I stand before you, I sit before you today, I'm talking boldly and confidently with my message, in part because of that experience. How about you? What would you say your top handful of life milestones, life experiences have been, and how have they shaped you for the better? And the fifth and final area, what would you say the primary gift in life that you've been given is? See, a gift isn't meant for you. It's something you've been given. Like if the world were to squeeze you all at one time, all 8 billion people all at one time in a nice way, what would come out the most in a good way? Is it leadership? Is it empathy? Is it teaching? Is it encouragement? See, this gift that when you're no longer on earth any longer, it's a legacy you leave behind that leaves a positive ripple effect to positively affect future generations. You talk about leading from the inside out. When you learn to embrace your unique identity, considering these 5 key areas, it'll change you. And when you're changed from the inside, it can't help but work itself out into those that you get a chance to lead, you get a chance to serve, and you get a chance to influence.